G'day guys, Seeney here. Welcome to another episode on the Australian Wealth channel. And in this episode, I'm going to be doing a bit of a net worth update. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. So building your net worth is a goal that takes a very long time. It's something that people do for their entire lives. I've been focusing on this goal for years now to try and build this up to a really respectable point. So I just wanted to do a bit of a breakdown of where my net worth currently is so you can see how it's tracking over time. And this will really highlight the importance of assets and why it's so important to be looking at purchasing assets that grow in value or are paying you. And you'll see just how important that is in this video. So I'll do a full breakdown of everything that makes up my net worth, and then I'll give you guys the full figure at the end. Okay, so currently in my bank account, I'm holding around $9,000-ish worth of cash. It's always good just to have a little bit of cash on hand just in case things come up. So we don't tend to keep too much of it in savings accounts or checking accounts. Most of that is either going into the loan to either pay that down and not pay interest on bad debt, or it's gone into stocks. So it's about 9 grand's worth of cash at the moment. On our credit cards has a balance of 0. Make sure if you have credit cards, it stays there because the interest on them is absolutely brutal. So be aware of that. In my super account, I don't have much. It's about $4,400 odd or so. It's something I don't contribute to. It's obviously very good to contribute to it for tax reasons. However, I'd like to be investing that money right now where I can have access to it now, not when I turn 65. So at the moment, the value of the property that we hold, we own a couple of them, is worth $1.68 million. I've seen a little bit of growth recently thanks to the increase in the property market. So very happy with that with our property in Sydney and Brisbane. We're going to be looking to purchase an extra property very soon. So looking to add to that portfolio, which is very exciting. Now currently my share portfolio is worth $137,000. So we've seen some great increases over the last couple of months. It's been fantastic to watch that portfolio grow through great investments, which I'm going to break down a little bit more in another video. So on top of that, we add contents of the house, roughly 30 grand, give or take some. And then of course, the car that I own is around $10,000. It would retail for. So if we take all of the assets that we hold, so things like cash, property, stocks, all of that, and we add it all up together, what we get is a figure of $1.87 million. But of course, that isn't the final figure because we also need to subtract liabilities. So these are things such as debts. So this could be a mortgage on a property. It could be something like credit card debt, things like that. But as I've addressed, we don't have any credit card debt. We keep that absolutely to 0. So let's have a look at some of the liabilities. So nearly all of the debt that we hold is considered good debt. You could argue that the debt that we hold on our prime place of residence, which we're not making money from, could potentially be considered good debt because the value of this property has far outweighed the amount of interest that we've paid on this property. So even knowing it's not actually making us money to live in this house, it's actually made us money if we were to sell it. And of course, we've done a cash out refinance on this property to take advantage of that extra amount of growth that we can put into cash flow producing investment properties. So looking at the loans that we have just over $1 million worth of loans to the bank. I know that sounds like a very scary figure, but the thing is, all of these loans are actually making money for us. So that's something to keep in mind, that debt is not always a bad tool. Debt can be very useful to grow your wealth a lot faster. Like for example, we purchased this property that we live in here for $820,000. This property is now worth, I believe, $1.07 million on comparable sales. So we've seen a massive uplift in the price of this property if we were to sell it. Without the bank, we couldn't have purchased this property. It's really that simple, but it's allowed us to grow our wealth quite significantly. So debt is not always bad, regardless of what some people say. If you use it effectively and use it as an effective tool, then it can be really useful. It's like fire. You can absolutely burn yourself, but you can also cook a delicious meal. So as far as breaking down our loans goes, on our primary place of residence, we have about $531,000 on this place. And on our investment property in Brisbane, we owe $479,000. So we're actually looking at purchasing another property soon. So this loan amount is also going to increase, probably another 400 to 500,000. So in a few months' time, we might have a loan balance that is $1.5 million. But of course, if it's making us money and these assets are appreciating in value, then hey, it's a great deal. So if we take our assets and then we minus our liabilities, what we're getting is a figure of around $860,000. So that is what our net worth currently sits at, which is really exciting. You know, we're about $140,000 away from being at that $1 million level, which has been a goal of mine that I've been working on for the last few years. So it definitely doesn't happen overnight, but we're starting to see some real progress there. And most of the gains in recent times have not only been from business income, but it's also come from holding assets. My stock portfolio has appreciated over 40 grand in the last few months. It's been a massive increase because I've loaded really heavy into some stocks. You know, we've seen about, I believe, $20,000 in property appreciation over the last couple of months. So that really helps to lift some of the burden of doing all the work. And this is why it's so important, especially as you're young, to really accumulate assets over time. So that way they can be working for you and you're not working for money. So thank you guys so much for watching. It's been really great to have you guys on this journey, and you can sort of see the progression over time of how things have changed. And we are starting to get close to that $1 million mark. You know, hopefully by the time we get there, we'll be able to have a big party, because we're still here in lockdown in Sydney, and we will be at least until probably the second or third week of October. You know, I've got my first jab of the Pfizer vaccine. We'll be going in for the second one in about 2 weeks. So we're helping to make up those statistics so Australia can get open and back to business. I can't wait to be working again. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. My name is Seeney. We will see you later.